All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let's just get right into this because, I don't know. Maybe it's a slow week because we got Memorial Day coming up next weekend. Next Monday's holiday. People are going away on summer vacation. But regardless, there are some pretty, I guess, obvious things to watch to see if this market's going to go into another leg up or if we're about to have a reversal. All right. Now, I know I got SPY here. We're going to come back to this, but first thing I think we should do is look at the bond market because this market is so driven by interest rates right now. It's all anyone's talking about: interest rate this, interest rate that, inflation this, inflation that. So I think if you now this is just it's an ETF that tracks a portfolio of bonds. All right, all the charts of the various bonds are going to look pretty much the same. So this is really just kind of a benchmark or just something to watch on our list here. Now, a lot of times, well, actually, you know what? Let me talk about this first. Here's your perfect descending triangle. Buyers are passive, they stay at their levels, sellers get aggressive as time goes by. This is why the valleys form at the same levels because buyers are passive. The peaks form at lower levels because buyers are aggressive. As time is going by, you have aggressive sellers, passive buyers. It sets the stage for move down, which it did. Ascending and descending triangles are pretty reliable patterns. But anyway, what we got going on here is this, right? What was support here has become resistance over here. There are people who bought over here who decide, assuming they still hold it, decide to get out at break even once the price goes lower. So they say if this price ever gets back up to my buy price, I'm going to sell. So remorseful buyers placing sell orders at the level that was support can create resistance. So we know there's a large group of sellers gathered around the 92 level. All right. Now, what's the next thing that could happen? Some of the sellers start to sense, oh, there are other sellers coming into the market here. I don't want to miss out. I better reduce the price I'm willing to sell at because the buyers are going to go to whoever is willing to sell at the lowest price. Other people see that. It starts a snowball effect. Now, why is this important? Well, if bonds sell off, it's going to make interest rates go higher. And that could be the catalyst. I think this whole market rally is based upon this narrative that is a myth. The Fed is not going to cut rates, or at least they shouldn't. Let me just put it that way. Inflation is flying. We're going to get this massive move higher, I think, as we go into the summer because, look at this chart of copper. Look at that. How are you going to cut rates when copper is doing this? Copper is a good indicator of inflation. We got, wheat prices are flying. We are going to go into a massive, you know, well, they're rebounding, or reversing a little bit, but we're going to go into this like big inflation thing, and it's going to be very bearish for the stock market, in my opinion. All right, so let's go over to the stocks. Let's go over to SPY. Here's what you want to watch. At least here's what I'm going to be watching. A lot of times when markets go up, well, let's just say this: in a healthy market, markets don't go up in a straight line. They go up, they consolidate, they chill out, they go up again, they consolidate, they chill out. All right. If we go up too fast, we come down fast. If we go up nice and slow, that's a healthy market. So check this out. What was resistance here? Will it become support over here? When markets are going up, levels that were resistance convert into support. That's a sign of seller's remorse. There's people who sold, and when the price goes higher, they're like, damn, I made a mistake. If I could buy my shares back at the same price I sold them at, I'm going to. If there's support around here, around 523, that sets the stage for another move higher. The most important thing to watch, well, there's actually two. But here's our technology sector. This is XLK. This is the ETF that tracks this sector. Just want to show you something here, which is really kind of a good example of what I'm talking about. When a market is rallying, all right, notice how what was resistance becomes support. What was resistance becomes support. What was resistance becomes support. Seller's remorse. People sell when the price goes higher. A lot of people say I made a mistake. If I can buy my shares back at the same price, I'm going to. It's a very common phenomenon. This is what markets are. This is what trading is understanding these financial dynamics. Like what was resistance there becomes support there. All right. You can see this really another really good example of this is Berkshire Hathaway. Sorry, BRKB. Hey, I'm a better trader than I am a speller person. Is that even a word, speller person? I remember I failed spelling. I think it was in sixth grade, and my mother had me, and I think my teacher's name was Miss Shigeri, we had a family or a teacher student sit down, but whatever. Now we just use Chat GPT. Yeah. Anyway, resistance becomes support. Resistance becomes support. I mean, look, everyone, you don't need to be a friggin' former hedge fund trader or a chart guru or market guru to see this. Resistance becomes support. Resistance becomes support. Resistance from back here becomes support. All right. So going back to what I was saying, we want to watch that with S&P, but we especially want to watch it here with this ETF. XLK, this tracks the technology sector. This is the biggest sector in the market. As a matter of fact, I didn't even notice this. Look at the action on Friday. All right, so this level here, this black line is, we're going to call it 211. All right, I'm just going to make that 211 just to make it easy. Look at this resistance here. Where was Friday's low trade? The same pretty much level, 210.66. We're talking about a $200 security that came within 34 cents. All right. Could be the first sign that this level is going to convert into support. That could set the stage for a move higher. So going over to these meme stocks, I just really, as someone who was a professional trader for so long, I just have such issues with everything that's going on here from a moral perspective or whatever. This guy Roaring Kitty comes out of hiding or hibernation or where the hell he was. And, I got nothing against him. The dude's a capitalist. He's making money, blah, blah, blah. I'm all for it. But all these people like, oh, God, Roaring Kitty's back. Let's go buy. The meme thing is back on. People have been crushed. Okay. I have a trading school where I teach people how to trade. Over the last 3 or 4 days, I can't even respond to all the emails I'm getting because people are losing money. These are not traders, these are gamblers. This thing has come full circle. I mean, Friday's low trade was 1970. Before this whole thing took off, it was what, 16, 17? And I want to be surprised if tomorrow we're right back there. All right. So if you really want to learn how to trade, you got to put a little bit of time into it. I don't know why, but some people think that like, oh, gee, I can just show up with a lot of money and be a great trader one day because I'm going to go online and listen to people like Roaring Kitty. You can't become a plumber in a day. You can't become a carpenter in a day. You can't become a lawyer in a day. You can't become a doctor in a day. You can't do anything in a day. It takes a little bit of studying, and you got to put a little bit of time in it. And someone like me, who's been around the block a few times, is willing to teach people like yourself. I mean, I assume if you're listening to me, you want to learn. You're not just here for my great magnetic personality, or maybe you are. Anyway, look at AMC. Okay. These guys did a stock offering of 345. The management, think about this. Why would the company offer shares at 345? The management of the company thinks it's a good price to sell. They're not selling shares because they think the stock is going to go up. Okay. If the management thinks 345 is a nice price to sell at, it really just boggles my mind that people are paying $11 or $12 a share. But again, this is just gambling. I mean, this is not real trading. Notice how we hit resistance at the level that was resistance before, like we just talked about. Support, probably going to be support there. All right, everyone. So, thanks for checking in. Let's just watch, do those important price levels in tech and S&P convert into, if what was resistance converts into support, then we could kind of get confident that there's going to be another leg up and we could position ourselves for it. Over the next couple of days, if that doesn't happen, what do? We just jump in on the short side. We buy puts, we buy inverse ETFs. There's always money to be made if you let the market tell you what to do. If you have a preconceived notion, you're going to lose money. I always tell people this: having an opinion is a very dangerous thing for a trader because if you have an opinion, it's going to influence the way you think. If you go into the market every day, just kind of like, all right, well, what's going to happen? Let me react. That's the mindset for being successful. All right, everyone. Thank you for sticking with me for so long, and I hope to see you this. Actually, I hope to see you this week in our morning calls.